Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to another video. Today we're here for episode number 109 of Goattville Updates, and here we are once again in the city. Today we're going to be looking at some of the progress that I've gotten done so far with the stadium. Now this is a project that I haven't gotten around to in quite a while. I started it just around a year ago, and since then I haven't gotten too much progress on it done so far. For the past month I decided that I would come back to it and finally get some more progress done on it, because there's a lot of parts to it on the exterior and the interior as well that I figured could have been done, and so now I'm finally getting around to it. The most notable feature I've added so far is here on the right field side with this massive scoreboard. Totally adds something completely new to the stadium. Really glad with the way that this one turned out. With all the details on the scoreboard, it's actually a lot of references to the CLD videos that we've been watching on the Twitch channel. Over the past month, I've been streaming on Twitch, doing some building here on the stadium. I've been watching some episodes of CLD when Dan Lives was working on the stadium, and filled it within the scoreboard are a lot of references to that project in particular. So that's the sort of the inspiration for a lot of the numbers that I've put up there, and it's just a good way of filling up the scoreboard with all these little details that in secret have references to other buildings that have been inspirations for this stadium in particular. In addition to the scoreboard, we've also been working on some of the seating that has been going around the stadium. I've added this little bit right off to the side of the scoreboard and sort of have the majority of the frame set up. Haven't exactly gotten around to all the specific details of it, but we at least have it all set up, so now you can sort of get a general idea in terms of what I'm going to be building with it in the future. It's going to take me a while before I get all of the aisles and all the tunnels set up, but once I do, it's going to look relatively similar to what you're seeing here. Also, surrounding the stadium, we have some of these smaller buildings, these kind of administration buildings that are sort of on the back side of the stadium. I started building them with some of the Twitch live streams, and since then they've sort of gotten the frame set up. Not too sure exactly what I'm going to put inside of them, but I have all of them set up and I'm really glad with the way that they turned out. And I think that the way I've gone about building it, as well as its general size and proportion to the remainder of the stadium, has really kept it somewhat balanced as best as I could. It still does look a little bit too small compared to the rest of the stadium, but I think I've done somewhat of a good job of blending it in to the best of my ability. In terms of what I have planned for the future, it's a little bit vague in terms of the surrounding roads. Some of the buildings off to the side, on like the south side of the stadium, it's not planned at all. I haven't explained it too much in what I'm going to build in the videos. And on the west side of it, haven't really planned it out in terms of like how the river is going to be fitting in on that side of the stadium. So I'll eventually be getting around to that in some of the later episodes of the update series. I've also started some work here on the back part of the scoreboard. We've got the Majestic's logo all set up with a couple Goatville flags off to the side in like a banner format. The statues are clearly visible from the top. I'm thinking I'm going to put a clock face on the back of this circle bit on the top as well, instead of just the front. And we have a little sign saying the Majestic's at the front, right in front of where there's going to be somewhat of a drop-off area, I suppose. Some area that's vaguely connected to the parking lot, but not entirely. I'm not too sure exactly how it's going to turn out now, but I got a general vision in terms of what I'm going to do. It's got to be separated enough from that circle off in the distance, but still at least somewhat close enough to make sure that the road isn't going to be too far away from it. With this stadium being such a large project, it's kind of difficult to plan everything out so far as we have it right now. It's going to take a while to actually build through everything until we get an idea in terms of exactly where everything's going to be. But we've gotten at least a couple steps into generally determining where this area is going to be before we actually start building it. Moving beyond just the theoretical parts of the stadium, I've also done some work here on the interior as well. Here on the right field side, there is very much the same kind of concept that we're trying to go for as we got on the left field side of everything. So I've mostly been copying the same sort of design as I had on the left field side, copying over the same sorts of walls and the pathways, those little bridges and pieces of infrastructure. There's still a lot of it to be done, but I got a lot of the basis set up for it, so that by the next time I come back to the stadium to work on it, all I need to do is do some furnishing, and then it will be just the same as it was on the left field side. Within the past month, I've mostly been setting up the stadium in terms of the next step of progress that we're going to do. I've only been working on it for around a month, maybe a month and a half, and the previous time I worked on it, it was around 6 months, so I had a good bit amount of more time to actually plan out and get to those parts that I've actually had envisioned. But in terms of the small chapter that we have here with the stadium, I've decided to go with something that was a bit more planned, something that sort of showed off what the project was going to look like into the future. Because we had gotten a main part of just half of the stadium done so far, I figured I would set it up for the other half of the stadium right now, and maybe another time in a couple months we'll come back to it and we'll finish it, and hopefully maybe by the end of the year this stadium could be finished. It is still going to require a lot of work, but I've had a lot of fun building the stadium so far. Had a lot of fun with the live streams that we've done. But for the next Goatville updates video, we're going to be working on another project here within the depths of the city. Not too exactly sure in terms of what it will be, but maybe it will be somewhat based around the train station, the skyscrapers around the downtown area, or these areas right outside the museum. Maybe it will be a mix of all of them. I'm not too sure. Haven't really decided on that. And yeah, that's about it. And as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye.